Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore. I was like, Jesus Christ. We're not playing anything else right now. This is the only thing I'm recording at this moment. And I was like, what am I playing? Well, okay. Oh, brain not working. But yeah, whoops. In Orlock's route, obviously. Chapter 5, toward the end, and in Orlock's perspective. So we're just going to jump right back in where we were. So, how long has it been? I slowly opened my eyes in the darkness of the room. I tilted my head and saw Space next to me. As she looked at me and gave a sigh of relief. How do you feel? I think I'm fine now. I tried to sit up. No, you don't, Orlock. You need more sleep. Space kept me from getting up and urged me to stay down. But you've been asleep the whole day. You must be hungry. Let me get you something. You just wait here. That's right, he was all shot in the last part, so. Okay. Her words were unique. For some reason, her words made me compliant. I couldn't fathom why that was so. Okay, Orlock, open wide. He's all embarrassed. It's actually gonna give. I would be too. You're like laying there. Someone's like, "Let me feed you." That's weird. You shouldn't move your arm yet. You're right-handed, aren't you? She scooped some food onto the spoon, then positioned it in front of me. Logical. Doesn't make it any less awkward. It appeared she wanted to spoon-feed me. That would be too embarrassing. I'm fine. I can eat myself. Besides being embarrassing, there was no way I could have Space serve me. I appreciated her thoughtfulness, but I needed to take care of myself. Absolutely not. Don't move your arm while it's still hurting, you hear? The music in the background's so pretty. Hope it's not too loud. But you're only worrying me, Orlock. Oh, fine. I really could take care of myself, but I couldn't fight back against Space's orders. This was all too strange. Why was Space being so kind to me? Was it okay for me to accept her kindness? Before long, I finished my meal. Now then, you should sleep a bit more. Okay. But her kindness is very relaxing and comforting. I feel warm inside. Do you think you can sleep again? I'll try my best, but I hesitated a bit, but I couldn't stop myself from saying it. Will you be here next to me? What did I say? Why did I say that? I was always alone when I was injured in battle. Not once had anyone shown me kindness or care. But not once had I felt lonely. Space was looking at me with a surprised expression on her face. She must have thought I'd gone mad given what I said. No wonder Space was surprised. Why, of course. Space gently smiled at me. Her smile was pure and serene, just like that of a saint. If that's what you want. She stood up and laid down at my bedside, right next to me. Thank you. Why are you throwing all your bells? I can hear you. You make a lot of noise. You make a lot of noise back there, Burb. The only words I could say were words of appreciation. Space spoke to me kindly. Oh! And then in this one, he's all sweet and innocent and, like, adorable. Like, there's other ones where you're like, hi, hello. This is where he's got the sweet, innocent face. But it's so cute. Oh, but at least he's got a pillow, but he's still laying on the floor, the poor thing. I'll stay here until you fall asleep. She's, like, brushing his hair at him. It's so cute. You've worked yourself too much, Orlock, so you need to get some rest. Thank you, Space. But I have a duty to fulfill. Just forget about that for now. No matter if you're a saint or a warrior, everyone rests when they're hurt. Just focus on getting better. Don't worry about a thing. Her words flowed through my entire body. Understood. Her words were like magic. I could feel my exhaustion melting away. Space ever so gently patted me on the head. Well then, how about a bedtime story? How about the bell of Atri? Or perhaps the Crystal Rooster? The Bell of Atri. An old tale from Italy about a large bell hung in a tower in the village of Atri. Crystal Rooster. An old Italian folk tale about a crystal rooster with feathers so white that it looked transparent. There you go. She must have been doing this since she began taking care of the kids at the church. And thinking of myself being treated as a child, it somehow stirred a ticklish feeling inside me, but I was sad at the same time. What an odd feeling, because you don't want us to think of you as a child. That's adorable. Could you tell me about your childhood? My childhood? Well, I don't think it's very interesting. I was raised at the church like everyone else. Being raised at the church wasn't... Oh, I think... Are we still talking? Wait. Oh, and being raised at the church wasn't normal, or so I believed. Sure, there were kids without parents, but the majority were raised within a family. Spacey accepted a life being raised in the church, and that was truly amazing. And you can't imagine how angry Sister Sophia was. Spacey smiled, remembering both the good and the bad from those days. Seeing her expression change vibrantly with each word was making me feel uneasy. Oh, he doesn't understand these feelings. It's kind of adorable, actually. I was the one who asked her to be by my side, but it was rather embarrassing to have her so close to me like this. What should I do? She smiled again. Oh, Spacey smiled again and patted me on the head. Getting a bit sleepy? Why not close your eyes for a bit? She gently held my hand. I really didn't expect that. Spacey left her other hand on my head as she began to sing a lullaby. I must pay her back for her kindness. Spacey, what is it, Orlock? I may not have the right to say this, but my life was never filled with this much joy and happiness before I met you. Orlock. She looked at me with surprise on her face. I wanted to tell her more, but I couldn't come up with the right words to say. Slowly, my eyes began to close. Well, at least he's not dying like Nicola did that one time. God damn it. And the warmth I was feeling inside me lulled me into a deep slumber. Look, I like Orlock, but he killed fucking Nicola, and I can't forgive him for that. It still haunts me! It's been a couple of days since I played, like, between the last part and this one, and it's like, I'm still haunted by this, and it's still traumatic for me. Like, I don't know. I mean, we've had other games where the love interest and everybody die and everyone else, but for some reason, am I just misremembering other games where they specifically killed each other? Except for like, oh, well, you're the bad guy. And like, again, them killing Yang, you're like, well, I mean, he's technically the bad guy, even though we love him, right? But like, this is just... And I know they're all technically bad guys because they're in the mafia and shit, but like, I don't know. Orlock, are you awake? Looks like he fell asleep. I gave a sigh of relief. I looked at Orlock's sleeping face as I pondered over the words he just said. Orlock said something about not having the right to express his feelings. That's absolutely untrue. He had the right to feel and say whatever he wanted. He fought for me and got injured, all the while worrying about my well-being. He looks like any other boy, too. His sleeping face looked a lot younger than usual. I'm sorry, Orlock. If only I had the power to protect you. Seeing his sleeping face was making me feel guilty for not being of much help to him. The following morning, I woke up before Orlock did to prepare breakfast. Good morning, Orlock. Good morning. Oh, let me change your bandage. I sat next to him, lying on the floor, and unraveled the bandage around his arm. Thank goodness, it's not swollen. I wrapped a new bandage around his arm. Orlock? We should clean you up today. Let me help you wipe down your body. What? I mean, I know what she's saying, but girl, just phrasing it just sounds a little inappropriate. Help? No, I'm fine. Orlock blushed and quickly pushed me back. I mean, he's like, we should wash you. Let me bathe you. What? Girl. She's totally just like, I'm in nurse mode right now, but like, even though she's not, but you know what I mean? I'm in taking care of you mode, but it's still like, do you realize what you just said, sweetie? This was no time to be blushing. I needed to clean him up to ensure his wounds were okay. Please stay still. It's hard to take your clothes off like that. You can't use your right arm like before. Well, yes, but, I can really handle it myself. This poor thing. So, I'll wipe myself down. Can you help me get my clothes off? Are you sure about that? Yes, I'm fine. Really. Like, that's not going to be awkward either, helping him undress. Poor thing. Just make it less awkward for the poor kid. I helped Orlock remove his clothes. He looked embarrassed and apologetic. I handed him a tub of hot water and a towel. I was worried whether he could really get himself clean, but so far so good. But then she's watching him! Like this. Seeing that he was doing fine, I finally realized I was blushing too. I quickly turned around, thinking to myself that I'd just seen his naked body. I mean, no wonder I was blushing. Really, we got an everyone else... Well, we technically got a shirtless when we were bandaging him up, but we got shirtless wet to picture with Dante when he comes out of the shower. I'm just saying. They were like, that's too much for you. A few days passed, and Orlock's wounds were looking much better than before. I suppose he heals quickly, too. But after chucking his bullet wound, it didn't seem to be completely sealed yet. Ugh. My legs just got wobbly. Orlock was probably only able to move because of the strength of his body and will. As I kept thinking about him, one day... I think I can move like before. Wait, you should rest a bit longer. We're lucky no one had found us yet. I doubt this place will stay hidden for much longer. We should really get going as soon as possible. But where should we go? In any case, we're running out of food. I'll need to go out soon. Absolutely not! What if you're attacked again? But... we weren't in agreement on this. Suddenly I heard a tapping on the window. My heart jumped and I started shaking, but Orlock calmly went to the window. It's a bird. It's okay. It's my messenger pigeon. I have one of those. He doesn't carry messages and he's kind of useless, but he's cute. Hi, talk about you. You're staring at me like I heard you. He called you messenger pigeon. Sometimes they call you chicken. Sometimes duck butt. You're not really a pigeon, though. Anyway. Orlock brought the pigeon inside and took the paper tied to its leg. Uh-oh. What does it say? His Excellency is in Berlone. You mean Bishop Rosberg? Orlock nodded briefly, and I listened carefully at the sudden turn of events. I don't trust him. I mean, we know, but I don't think she does. He came for consolation because of the gunfight that ensued back at the church. But His Excellency probably also came to put you under his custody. It looked like Orlock was relieved and glad to hear of his arrival. And the time to get you out of Berlone has finally arrived. Despite Orlock's smile, I couldn't seem to quell the anxiety inside me. Yeah, see, she's smarter. Bishop Rosberg was well known and respectable, but I had my doubts, especially knowing now that he worked with the Lao Shu, and even from listening to Orlock's stories. Still, there was no way I could share my doubts with how happy Orlock looked. I'm really not sure if I can trust Bishop Rosberg. Others, is this him? Listen up! We need to be quiet today, okay? That was not Elena's voice. Anyway. Okay! What's gonna happen? We have a special guest arriving, so we all need to behave. That's not her voice either. I don't know what's happening here, but anyway. We'll need to clean up the church, so I hope you'll all help. Okay! I'm assuming we're Elena then? Oh, good God. Computer. Shush, go away. Sorry. The main hall was charred and damaged from the battle between the Lao Shu and the Foul Zone. And this was where Bishop Joseph von Rosberg was coming for his consolation. It wasn't going to be easy, but we needed to clean the place up as best we could. I can't believe I'll be able to meet Bishop Rosberg in person. It's not her voice. I don't know what's happening to me, but anyway. He's so kind and compassionate to come all this way to see everyone.
Why, yes, it is quite the blessing.
I heard Bishop Rosberg goes to visit all the other regions as well. I wonder what he's like. I can't wait to see him.
Oh my, I suppose we should hurry and get the place cleaned right away.
Right. Soon enough, Bishop Rosberg arrived in Berlin and came to our church. He looked upon the people gathered here with kind eyes as he began his speech. Oh my god, he actually has a Sprite! I was like wondering, she's like, I can't wait to see him, and I'm like, I was seriously in my head like, I couldn't either, but like, he doesn't have a Sprite though, but he does. He's never had one before. Oh my god. Knocked me off my bouncy ball, I'm shocked. I'm shook, yo. Anyway, I mean, seriously, I didn't expect him to have one. Elena was like, I'm not kidding, I was like, I'd like to see him too, but he doesn't have a Sprite. Damn. I give my heartfelt condolences to all those who were harmed by the heathens of this town. I believe that peace must come first before happiness will follow. Jesus, God. I don't know if I trust you, yo. Peace comes only to those with a calm heart. As such, we must pray to ease our souls. God will bless those who believe his words. God is always watching over us. What a wonderful person! I know very well the one who has been touted as a saint at this church. That's why I've been looking forward to visiting your beautiful town and taking over my own. Bishop Rosberg's speech was amazing. Bishop Rosberg was going around to each person here, holding their hands and talking to them. I'm sure this will lift everyone's spirits. How thoughtful.
Excuse me.
Yes? An old woman spoke hesitantly to Bishop Rosberg.
I heard the Lao Shu has been connected with you. Is it true?
That is not true. As one of great faith, I would never approve of those who sought absolute rule in their own name. You know, except for me, because I'm special. He's literally, he's talking about something.
I'm so sorry for asking such a silly question, Bishop Rosberg.
No. Lift your head, my child. Having doubt in one's mind is not a sin. The sin is with those who seek to deceive others. I'm just saying! Did you get whiplash from that? Bishop Rosberg consoled the old woman with kindness and wisdom. The Lao Shu must have been lying all along. There was no way Bishop Rosberg would associate himself with the Lao Shu. I get why she's, completely bamboozled by him, but at least in the last one, in Yangsrod, she was bamboozled by drugs. This time, it's just by a lying sack of shit. Bishop Rosberg's visit ended, and the people who had gathered to see him dispersed. We were at the refectory serving coffee to Bishop Rosberg. I heard the Lao Shu have been confusing the people here.
Yes, indeed. It's truly despicable.
Speaking of which, where is this living saint the Lao Shu have been boasting of? Is she associated with the Lao Shu? Oh, if she's associated with the Lao Shu, she must be stopped. Excuse me! I quickly raised my voice, hearing the conversation turn to space. And the rumors have painted her in a bad light, but she's absolutely not a bad person.
Elena, calm down. I understand how you feel, but you are in Bishop Rosberg's presence.
That is fine. Please, go on. She's a very good person. I'm sure the Lao Shu were simply using her. It was the Lao Shu who called her a saint. Some people believed it at first, but now things are different. Yes, after the Lao Shu's gunfight here, their reputation deteriorated further. The people think she's the source of all the problems that have been happening in Berlin. They're accusing her of impersonating a saint. Ouch, man. Life sucks for us. This motherfucker, it's this asshole's fault! Word of that's been spreading like wildfire. Never once has she thought of herself as a saint. I see. What a poor soul to be going through all this. I feel like this was his fucking master plan. Because it just seems like way too convenient, right? The Lao Shu's gonna tout me as a saint. He was like, don't let the prophecy get out. And then, they let the prophecy get out. And then, then they cause a fight. And then, even if he it does seem very convenient if this was your master plan. Like, shit, how did you orchestrate this? But it seems like it's working in your favor because you're like, oh, she's a... And then it's like, oh, I can get my hands on her because... Like, I should take her out of the town because we wouldn't want the town to judge this poor girl. Let me take her and then, whatever. Although, why do they want me? I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Why would he want me not here? I feel like he had a plot and a purpose for us, but the Lao Shu fucked it up and he's like, God damn these bitches! They ruined my shit! Now I gotta come up with a new plan.
Goddamn meddling Lao Shu and their twins!
Would have gotten away with it too if you weren't for you meddling kids and your dog. Like, he was like a fucking Scooby-Doo villain. You didn't think the Lao Shu was gonna be the Scooby Gang, did you? But there you go.
Goddamn you Chinese mafia and your saint girl!
Basically. God. Anyway.
Bishop Rosberg listened to my tirade with a serious look on his face. I beg your forgiveness, but is it true that she's the one who appeared in your prophecy? The Lao Shu have been telling everyone so, but is it true? Bishop Rosberg smiled at her questions. You will know when the time comes.
Bishop Rosberg must be thinking about it too. He's like, I don't know. We're gonna see if I can can I finagle this anymore? Did they fuck it up for me? Do I gotta, do a whole new fucking bunch of bullshit?
Unable to ask anything more, I clasped my hands together. Dear God, please save her from these false accusations and clear her name.
Elena's a good girl. Except for in Yang's route when she was high on drugs and then, fucking got us killed and shit. Who did she get killed? Who did she kill? I don't know. She did some shady shit in Yang's route. I don't remember, but it was like, Elena! You dumb bitch! It's because of the drugs, but it's not her fault.
Bishop Rosberg arrived in Berlin and finished his consolation at the church. He sent a message to us to meet him at the hotel where he was staying. We left the hideout early in the morning to avoid the crowds.
Oh, look, a whole new backdrop.
This didn't feel right. Bishop Rosberg was staying at the most expensive and lavish hotel in Berlin.
I mean, aren't you supposed to give up all your worldly possessions to the church? But then when everybody else does it, you get to keep it because you quote-unquote work for the church? Shady-ass motherfuckers. I'm just saying. Church is a little fucking shady.
I never stepped foot in here before.
I doubt Dante has either, and that motherfucker's got money. He's like, I can't afford that shit. It's the rich people who go to the casino.
This place was so beyond my reach that I felt uncomfortable being here. I'd even heard rumors of famous people using this hotel when they visited Berlin. Unlike me, Orlock was walking down the hall without any hesitation. I breathed a sigh of relief, seeing that he was walking fine, just like before. Orlock, have you been to this hotel before? No, but I'm familiar with the floor plan. I suppose this was why he's been able to work as an informant. We stood before the room we were to visit. I knocked on the door. It opened slightly. Upon seeing Orlock, the door opened wide and we were beckoned inside. A man from the church let us in. Your Excellency, I bring to you the holy woman from your prophecy, Spacey. At Orlock's introduction, a man sitting on the sofa stood. This must be Bishop Joseph von Rosberg.
He just looks angry and mean. It's the angry eyebrows,
Please.
Oh, that's me.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Spacey Adornato.
Welcome, child. I'm Joseph von Rosberg. He doesn't really have a voice, does he? It's been all over the place. It doesn't matter.
Joseph von Rosberg.
He's got a sprite. I'm just shocked.
Bishop Rosberg looked at me with a sweet and gentle smile. I didn't expect your Excellency to come here with how dangerous it's been. Bishop Rosberg looked at us with loving eyes.
Really? Okay, well there he looks like a sad old man now, but I was like, really? Because he kind of looks a little shady.
Danger's not enough reason to keep me from visiting you and the people of Berlin.
The people of Berlin?
I saw how the church was recently used as the backdrop for war among the mafia. It's deplorable indeed. With what happened, the people here may lose their faith in God. I wanted to preach to them that God is always watching over us without fail. I can only imagine what you've been through.
Bishop Rosberg spoke to me with remorse on his face and concern in his voice.
Let me offer you a place to stay here. Rest assured you're in caring hands.
Thank you very much, Bishop Rosberg. But I want to go to the church. I bowed with heartfelt appreciation at his kindness. I hesitated to ask what was on my mind. Excuse me, but may I ask an impertinent question out of curiosity? Hold on. Sneeze came out of nowhere.
Yes, child. What is it?
The Lao Shu said that you ordered them to protect me. Why were you working with the Lao Shu?
That is a very understandable question. It was my only means to protect you from the foul zone ruling over this town. As those who believe in God, the church uses no weapons to fight.
But Orlock is... Wasn't Orlock their weapon to fight? Bishop Rosberg continued.
The Visconti originated from the foul zone. It's very likely that they may still be connected in some way. Which is why I called on the Lao Shu, who have shown an understanding for our predicament. And so I've relied upon them until now. Unfortunately, it seems they hold views contrary to what we ourselves believe.
I mean, it didn't have to take a genius for you to figure out that maybe if you're Italian and you have certain religious beliefs that Chinese people would have different ones. I'm just saying. I'm just saying different areas of the world, different like, come on. Just, I mean, it's not like I would trust the fucking Scottish mob. I thought maybe, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Bro, don't give me that bullshit. You're not that stupid. You didn't get to this position being that stupid, is all I'm saying. Bishop Rosberg gave a heavy sigh.
My lack of foresight has put you in harm's way. I truly apologize.
I asked him, are you as faithful as Orlock? You're only apologizing to me? Is your apology directed only at me?
What do you mean, child?
Your apology and your words of kindness were directed only to me. I was wondering if you were going to say the same to Orlock, who protected me. Orlock risked his very life to fulfill the mission he was assigned by Bishop Rosberg. He faced death in the battles that ensued and injured himself in the line of duty. Space. The first person to respond to my words was Orlock, not Bishop Rosberg. I am a disciple. It's okay. I only do what's necessary. If anything, it's my fault for putting you through all these dangers.
True. Your reports have been quite late as of recent. But it's also true that the Lao Shu have gone wild. What we know is that the root of all evil in Berlin is the Mafia.
I feel like the root of all evil in this town is you. You know, the Mafia. Actually, the root of all evil in this town is fucking religion, because that's what's causing all the fucking problems. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the Mafia is totally innocent, but I'm just saying the Falzone is like, we do the shit that we do because we gotta protect the body of Jesus that's hiding in the thing. Like, and the king maidens and the gatekeepers and all this fucking Ghostbuster shit. But it's like Jesus Ghostbusters shit. It's like literally like, you know, and it's like, but this where all the problems all stem from, like the holy war that you're spreading everywhere. I'm just saying, you're not helping your case. It's not really the Mafia's fault. Also, you're a shady motherfucker. Your Excellency, I appreciate your kindness in forgiving my mistakes. Orlock, you did nothing wrong. Oh my god. He's so brainwashed. Orlock is the girl that gets in the cage. Like, sometimes we like it, okay? I'm just saying. Orlock was completely blind when it came to Bishop Rosberg. Thank God we're smarter than him. Usually we need to be rescued and like, oh, we're a damsel in distress. And this time we're like, we've got to rescue him because he's insane. Alright. Oh. I listened, hoping to hear words of consolation, but not a single word was mentioned to Orlock. I still don't trust him. I couldn't rid myself of the doubt in my mind. Why are we skipping meanwhile stories in the... I just noticed this. Hold on. It would be much safer to take you back with me to the church, but I haven't received a vision since, which means that now is not the time.
I see.
I suppose my faith is still lacking.
Absolutely not. Prophecies come precisely when they're needed.
I understood what Bishop Rosberg was saying. I'm just really confused as to skip meanwhile stories. Oh. I guess in the tragic bad ending you read them. Okay. So weird. I just noticed for chapter 6, I'm like, why are we skipping meanwhile stories? Interesting. So in the tragic bad ending, it says, read those 3, 4, 5 bad? Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm curious. Duty, murder. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, I guess we'll skip them and we'll just do them when we get to the super bad ending. Huh. Alright. It's weird, but I still have my doubts about him. Bishop Rosberg looked at me earnestly and began speaking to me. It's just the first time we've ever gotten to a place where I just saw skip. Skip? Maybe because they reveal a little bit more and it's like better to read them during the bad ending? Because I know the bad ending in his gives you a lot more background. So we'll do exactly what the guide said and we'll skip them. Hold on, my computer keeps like popping up obnoxious shit, so. It is God's word that you shall bring an end to this war. I believe in God. It's the same with you, is it not? His voice is all over the place and I don't care. We really don't care. I know he's got a sprite, but like I don't care what his voice is. It is. If so, I ask that you stay here for now. We'll offer you the protection you need. Please, rest assured that all will go well. All I seek is peace to come to Berlin at long last. I could tell Bishop Rosberg wasn't lying. He spoke honestly and boldly as if he were a messenger of God. Bishop Joseph von Rosberg. Either he's a saint or he's... a sinner? Anxiety was building up inside me. Contrary to what he said, I wasn't certain that I could rest assured just yet. Something was telling me otherwise. Your intelligence? I'm just saying. You can have faith and still be fucking intelligent and not like, you know. Oh wait, this is the hotel we stayed at with Dante, because here's the photo. Here's like that background. After meeting with Bishop Rosberg, we were led to another room in the hotel. I'd never stayed here before. The room was incredibly beautiful, but that wasn't my concern at the moment. With me and Orlock alone in the room, I decided to ask him for information. Orlock, do you mind telling me all you know about Bishop Rosberg? Why? Are you worried about something? I saw how much you respect and trust Bishop Rosberg, so I wanted to know more about him. I recall you told me how you met him before, but what happened after that? Did you live with him? His Excellency is of the teaching authority of the Magisterium? Magisterium? The Magisterium? The council where the church defines various doctrines, rites, and the liturgy? Look, I don't know anything about church. That sounds familiar. I'm also with this ministry. Really? A disciple in a teaching ministry? Seeing me deep in thought, Orlock nodded and went on to explain further. Before, when you asked me about my role as a disciple, I didn't share much, but I suppose I should tell you the details now. The disciples are used by the Magisterium to eliminate the church's enemies. Eliminate? Just like, you're like, you assassinate people on behalf of the church, because like, you don't believe in God? Oh, well look, they happen to die. I mean, I'm just saying that doesn't sound shady as fuck or anything. I know it sounds contrary to our teachings, but let me explain. The Pope is targeted by many pagan countries, so we're there to help protect his teachings and the purity of the people's faith. Orlock paused and thought for a while. You may have heard this before, but the Kingdom of Italy once stole much of the church's land.
If the disciples weren't there, they would have assassinated most of our prominent members.
That's sad to hear, but I suppose such a thing would not have been impossible. The church was blessed with the faith of the masses, so to prevent the church from becoming a threat, many of those in power have taken drastic measures against well-known believers. Other countries would certainly have much to gain in doing so.
A disciple's work is to go where they're sent. This honorable title is given to missionaries assigned to spread God's influence. They share God's word, save his people, and cover their hands in blood.
Hearing his words reminded me of when he was fighting the mafia.
There are many people I've killed. I'll likely go to hell.
Which, again, seems very contrary. I'm doing this all for the church, I forgot, but I'm gonna go to hell for it. I mean, I'm just saying, if God needed you to do this, I don't think he'd send you to hell for it. But if he's gonna send you to hell for it because it's all wrong, then why does he need you to do it? Just loopholes! Your terms and conditions are bullshit! Not signing up for the service, thanks.
But if there's a future of peace that awaits someone with my sins, then I would be happy. I'm willing to sacrifice myself for God.
This just sounds like brainwashing craziness, I'm just saying. That must be Orlock's faith.
His Excellency raised me in the church to become a disciple.
I mean, it's one thing to believe in things and be like, I'm trying to be a good person, but to be like, I'm gonna go murder people in the name of God, and I'm gonna go to hell for it, but it's totally all in the name. Do you not see how fucking insane you sound? You just sound insane. I'm just saying. There is, like, literally a difference between, like, I do this because it makes me a better person, and I feel comfort in thinking that there's something greater out there. Cool, good for you. Awesome. But stab the heathens! Going to hell, but it's all for Jesus. What? The fuck? You're about as crazy as a flat earther, Orlock. I'm just saying. And I get it. He's been brainwashed. It's like, sweetie, I'm going to need you to just take a step back from the edge. Okay? Like... Orlock seemed to be recalling those days.
His Excellency became my guardian after I lost my parents.
You probably killed your parents.
He also taught me the power of faith and the omnipotence of God. I am who I am because of His Excellency.
I suppose Bishop Rosberg must be what Sister Sophia is to me. A special person.
I believe so.
He nodded with a smile on his face. Except for Sister Sophia is actually a good person and not a shady motherfucker, is all I'm saying. It made it difficult for me to share my doubts about Bishop Rosberg. Even if I told him, I doubt he'd listen to me, but... Orlock, I hope you won't take what I say in the wrong way. I actually don't trust Bishop Rosberg.
Huh?
I feel like there's some ulterior motive behind Bishop Rosberg's words. I like that she's at least smart, even though, like, she's in the presence of someone that she's always been taught, like, 'cause she lives in the church and she's in this world. It's like, oh, this is this great, wonderful person, and everybody's, like, dazzled by him, right? And then she's like, I know but he's a little shady. Thank you. Like, I mean, he is shady. We know that for a fact, but I like the fact that she's not completely blinded by it. She's like, I feel weird saying that he's shady, but I think he's shady. It's just bizarre. I mean, I know he's like this quote-unquote wonderful person in the church and everybody loves him, but I just get the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Like, I think he may be lying. Remember what you said to me back then? It was the day we arrived at the hideout. I recalled the words he said as we warmed ourselves underneath the blanket. Aw, the CG again.
I really don't know what happiness means. At the very least, I've never seen my life as something to be happy about. Of course, that also means I've never felt down on my luck before. If anything, I'm blessed that someone actually picked me up.
It was then that I wanted to tell him. You deserve better. You should be more blessed.
More blessed? As in...
Do you remember when you told me that you were blessed back at the hideout? But...
You don't think I was blessed?
He looks so sad, like... What? Oh! There are many children here who were raised in a loving family. But if you were assigned missions without a chance at feeling what happiness is... I recalled seeing Orlock smile when he was playing with the children at the church. Perhaps he didn't know back then that he was smiling. Come to think of it, he mentioned he couldn't smile like those kids. Thinking of his past gripped my heart even more strongly. You have the right to play, laugh, and eat good food. Don't you think you deserved better? But After listening to my words, Orlock seemed dismayed. He slowly began to speak. He was raised to basically just be a tool, not a human being, and it's kind of sad. You're right. I have learned a lot since meeting you. Playing with the children is tiring. Having a good meal is enjoyable. If someone's with you through your suffering, the pain can subside. And the time I've spent with you has warmed my heart. That much I know is true. Orlock spoke slowly, as if recalling all that he had been through. He was tracing his past and connecting it to his actual feelings then. Back at the hideout, you told me that you felt joy and happiness like never before. You also said that you may not have the right to say that. Space, I may not have the right to say this, but my life hasn't been filled with this much joy and happiness before I met you. Oh, but I shouldn't be thinking of such things, not when I have a mission to fulfill. Why not? I don't see why you have to force yourself to not feel things. People experience joy and happiness, and they express that in words. But I'm a disciple. I need to fulfill my duty. Just because you're a disciple doesn't mean that you need to get rid of your emotions. But you're telling me that Bishop Rosberg has given you such a life? If so, I can't trust him after all. Orlock's body was shaking, and he looked at me with trembling eyes. We're like breaking everything this poor boy knows, but I mean, she's smart in this case. Like, I mean, he did deserve better. He raised you to be a tool, an emotionless tool. Oh my god, he's the Shiraishi of this. Like, I care for you deeply, and I trust you, but His Excellency saved my life. More than that, he's just... Right now, I can't accept everything you've said to me. Orlock gripped his chest as if he were in pain. I don't want to dismiss what you've said, but I'm sorry. After his apology, Orlock turned around and quickly left the room. Night fell, and I lay in bed with the lights off. I couldn't sleep. I looked up at the ceiling and sighed. I went too far. What right do I have to question their relationship in the first place? Regret began to fill my heart, and I hoped that Orlock was okay. Still, I can't trust Bishop Rosberg. My distrust of him made me more worried for Orlock. I continued to think through the night. Before I knew it, it was daylight, and I'm just saying these are the... Okay, we're supposed to skip those. Okay. I brought you your breakfast. I'll leave the cart in front of your room. Feel free to eat when you're ready. Unable to say anything after what happened, all I could do was listen as his footsteps faded away. I felt so terrible about what I had done. I needed to apologize to him, but I still couldn't get myself to think straight. The whole day, I stayed inside my room thinking about Orlock. Still, I didn't know what to say to him. Skipping all the meanwhile stories. Skipping the meanwhile stories. Hold on. Oh, my mouse is acting up. I stood in front of her room. All I had been doing was bringing meals to her room. I don't think I should see her now. At least not yet. Which is why I wouldn't open the door. In the meanwhile, His Excellency was going out to town for his consolations. He was accompanied by another bodyguard since my presence would be noticed. But I was relieved he didn't take me. I couldn't leave her here alone. I couldn't leave her alone here, sorry. Forgive me for interrupting. No matter. What have you to report? I knelt next to His Excellency and whispered, "This situation has not changed. She's not left her room yet." I see. His Excellency wasn't saying a word. He must be worried about her. He could surely heal her suffering soul. I'm certain of it.
Once he does that, she'll be able to trust His Excellency. I believed in him. All that he had said thus far had been correct in its truth.
Oh, sweetie. You're still so brainwashed. It had been 2 days that Orlock hadn't opened the door to this room. He simply came by to leave meals in front of the door. I knew I should talk to him, but I couldn't muster the courage to do so. See, like, this makes sense. Like, you know, sometimes in games where they're like, oh, we have to have the little, we're having a fight over something, or a disagreement where we're not speaking to each other, and it's so contrived sometimes, and you're like, if you would just communicate, instead of, I just can't say it. You know what I mean? And it's always, I don't think we actually had any instances where we weren't speaking to them. I think we've actually been pretty good in this. Like, I feel a little, you know what, I'm just going to tell Dante what I'm thinking, and it's like, you know, she'd hesitate for like, I might hesitate for a little while, let me think about it. Should I say this? And then be like, all right, I'm just going to say it. This makes sense. This is not, like, I haven't spoken to him, and he's not speaking to me, and oh my god, it's this, it's not really, it's because she seriously straight up said, I think the guy you think of as like a dad is like a shady motherfucker. And Orlock's like, what? Huh? And he doesn't know how to process what we told him, and then we're like, should I maybe have been a little more blunt about that? Should I just maybe have not been so blunt about that? Should I have just like eased him into that conversation? Shit. Like, it absolutely makes sense. As opposed to like, he says something and we're just, I'm just going to be mad at you and not tell you why. And it's totally contrived. And you're like, just fucking use your words, people. Jesus. So I like really appreciate that this game doesn't do that bullshit just to like manufacture like shit. Like, it's not like, oh, we're just going to have them not communicate. Where you're like, oh my god, just fucking say something. Such bullshit. You're adults, talk. Like, I mean, everybody gets their feelings hurt and sometimes you just don't want to talk about it yet. But there's always something in games that you were like, this is so contrived and bullshit. Any normal person, it would have been fixed. And we wouldn't have 6 years of angst because... I'm sorry, did you just call me fat? I didn't mean to. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I was gonna hate you forever. And it's like you ruined somebody's life because of something stupid. This makes sense. Like, the not talking. Like, Orlock's like, I mean, I don't know how to deal with this. She's like, I shouldn't have said that. I hope his wounds are clean. I wonder if he changed his bandage. I'm not even sure he's eating right. The more I thought about Orlock, the more worried I became. I recalled the days I spent with him back at the hideout. Orlock looks happy? Orlock? How does it taste? It's very good. I like it. That's good to know. I'll make it again next time. And thank you. He didn't express himself much, but he seemed happy when something he liked was served. After the days I spent watching him eat, I finally could read when he was happy or not. I can't read the words. You can't sleep. I'm just thinking about things. And don't worry, I'm here with you. And no matter what happens, I'll protect you. Whenever I was with him, I felt calm. I knew I was safe those sleepless nights, as long as I could feel his warmth beside me. Despite the dangers, the times we spent together at the hideout were precious to me. The time was, or the times were. Gotta singular pluralize both of those, goddammit. Damn it, Tim! Get your S's in the right shape! And get your S's in the right spot. Ship shape with those S's, Tim! I want to see him. Suddenly, I realized what this pain was gripping at my heart. Or pain gripping at my heart was. Wow. Anyway, it was loneliness. From not being with Orlock. How long has he been so important to me? How long had he been so important? I can't read today. You know what? I quit. Because of my loneliness, the difficulty in seeing him was all my fault. I need to apologize to him. Space, I'll leave your food here. I opened the door and leapt outside. Orlock! Right into his arms. He's like, I haven't moved. You look how stunned he is. I'm sorry, it's just... His mouth looks so funny because it looks like he's got tiny little chipmunk teeth. Orlock turned around and looked at me with a surprised expression. I'm sorry, Orlock. I stopped myself. I shouldn't talk to him out in the open. Do you have a moment to talk? He's like, looks he's sad. Orlock nodded at me a bit awkwardly. I let him in my room, then continued my apology. I'm sorry, I overstepped my bounds. I shouldn't have said those things back then. I understand the message you were trying to relay to me. And I know you said it all for my sake. So, thank you. Orlock thanked me, but I still had conflicting feelings about the situation. He still trusted Bishop Rosberg. That fact hadn't changed. But I'm glad I could break the ice with Orlock. After seeing him leave the room, I breathed a sigh of relief. It had been a while since I'd seen his face. That alone brought a surprise. Never mind. This just auto happens. Okay, hold on. Oh wow, I just flipped the fucking room. I decided to go and get something to eat. We'll read that other line when we go back. I wondered why the food tasted good. I knew that the food served at the hotel was both expensive and delicious. And before I arrived in Berlin, I couldn't understand the taste of cooking, but now... Was it because I met Space? I can't explain it, but I think that's it. Space was amazing. The food here is good, but the food she made back at the hideout tasted much better than this. I wonder why. Just being with her brings a satisfying warmth to my heart. But when I don't see her or talk to her, it becomes harder to breathe somehow. I wonder why. Is it because she's someone holy? Does this happen to everyone who meets her? I thought for a while, but didn't get an answer. I want to speak to her like before. I want to be with her. His Excellency returned late at night from his consolations. He called me to his room. I received a new prophecy. I'll share with you what I heard. What splendid news. Please let me know, Your Excellency. A new prophecy. It's going to be like, we have to kill the girl, and Orlock's going to be like, Arr! Starting to think she was right. I was sure it would help ease her soul. Or so I thought. It seems my previous prophecy was incomplete, and it was due to my insufficient powers. It's due to my insufficient powers. And that's not true, Your Excellency. The fact that you hear the word of God is proof in his blessing. Very well. Listen carefully. Yes. His Excellency spoke in a calm voice. Okay, I knew exactly. I was just, right before I saw this line, and I was like, the tragic ending is going to be Orlock's going to kill our ass, isn't it? For the sake of fucking Bishop Rosberg and the fucking thing. And now, here we go. So that's the tragic ending. I guarantee it. Is Orlock is going to kill us. And just be like, I didn't want to kill her, but I believed him. And we're going to feel bad for him because he's going to be kind of questioning what he did. But at the same time, especially after, and then this line popped up. So, God seeks the death of Spacey. What? The death of Space? God's voice said that she will bring an end to the conflict here in Berlin. That means that her death will usher in the peace that is to come to this land. Her passing will bring the people of Berlin together as one. I'd heard that story somewhere before. Which means that God wants her to die here in the name of peace. A pure maiden dying for the sake of us all will certainly move everyone to do something about the situation here. All saints have died for the greater good, so your God may wish for her to stay here in a similar manner. Yeah, Yang's like, I studied your Bible, it's full of bullshit. And he's like, wait, how did Yang know? What? I couldn't hide my confusion. But I'm supposed to be guarding her. Indeed, we have her with us now, but that is making the town worse. She'll need to be with God. The Lao Shu has made her the center of evil to the people here. But if she dies, the people will learn that the true evil is the Lao Shu, and that she was merely being used as a puppet. That will urge the people to go against mafia rule in this land. But that's... Space is to be with God? I couldn't seem to accept his prophecy. See, and this is the thing. So, like, absolutely the tragic ending is he's going to be, like, fighting in his brain to be like, should I kill her? Shouldn't I? I don't know. And then he's going to fucking kill us in the bad ending. Because we didn't, like, obviously right now we're worming our way into his heart. He loves us, and he's starting to realize that maybe the things we're saying are true. He's still in that place right now where he's like, but, but in the tragic ending, we're not going to have made him love us. So he would absolutely be like, okay, Rosberg's, I guess it's going to be hard to kill her and I'm going to feel bad about it, but his religiousness is stronger than his belief in us and just love for us. You know what I mean? Because he's known that longer, so. I absolutely see how this is going to go. What is it? His Excellency is looking at me. He'll be disappointed if I don't obey. I can't let that happen. I have to respond like usual. I need to nod and say, as you wish. I understand the pain within you. All life is precious. But this is a sacrifice to save the many who live here. You need to save the people as you have many times before. His Excellency's words were fair. I had done all that he ordered until now. But I trusted in her. She was pure and full of warmth. Is that what God truly seeks? Or will her death save the people? Indeed. His Excellency nodded solemnly. Oh, Orlock. Okay, anyway. That alone brought a surprising serenity to my soul. And now we're back to Orlock. Hold on a second. Alright, we have time to... Ooh. This is the meanwhile story I think we skip. Aim, yes. Oh. Okay. I stood in front of Spacey's room. My head hurts. It had been throbbing since I spoke with His Excellency's words. Since I spoke with His Excellency's words? That doesn't make any sense. That's the weirdest translation ever. It had been throbbing since I spoke with His Excellency, or it had been throbbing thinking of His Excellency's words. You know what I mean? Like, okay. It felt like I had just been bludgeoned. And this had never happened to me before. Feeling so sick during a mission. Everyone will fight the Mafia if she dies. And that's supposed to bring peace? Which means that God wants her to die here in the name of peace. A pure maiden dying for the sake of us all will certainly move everyone to do something about the situation here. He's like, how the fuck? I recalled again what Yang said. His Excellency's words were the same. She hasn't done anything wrong. But she has to sacrifice herself? Does God really want that to happen? And the pain in my head was getting worse. I looked down at the palm of my hand. What should I do? His Excellency has always shown me the way. So, doubting him now means that my life has been wrong all this time. Oh, Orlock, sweetie. Oh. We're a little under time, but I'm going to stop it here because this scene could go very long or it could be very fast. We will have to create another save file right before the next choice, which I'm assuming is going to be in here, but I guess this... Well, I'll save it the choice. It'll be easier, but... in case we forget, at least we'll have a save right here. Like all the times I've been like, I keep forgetting. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.